Hey, good morning. It's Mark here with another morning rant. It's 5 o'clock. I've been up since 3. I've had some issues with this computer stuff, so had to get that fixed. Anyway, I was going to show you guys some video about Ilhan Omar and Lauren Boebert. Over the last couple of days or so, Lauren Boebert has been spouting racist epithets toward Ilhan Omar, referring to her as part of the Jihad Squad. Ilhan Omar is a Muslim woman, representative from Detroit, from Michigan, I believe. Referring to her as part of the Jihad Squad. She's been going around with this campaign speech, this campaign joke, and I'm assuming it's an icebreaker, where she says that her and a staffer gets onto an elevator and Ilhan Omar's there, and she says that she doesn't have a backpack on, so we're safe. Referring to Ilhan Omar being a terrorist or something. I could play the video for you, but you can go find it yourself and play it. And I also have another video here that I can play for you, where this guy here from Colorado, because I think that's where Boebert's from, he talks about how not only does Lauren Boebert gets to go out and say these things, and then she tried to apologize to Ilhan Omar, and it was bad. The way I think Ilhan Omar said that the conversation went left. She didn't really try to apologize, so she just ended the conversation. So with House leadership, Republican leadership on the phone call, I think. But this guy goes on and says, how many chances are we going to give these people? And I would submit to you that it's been going on, and I hate to say this, but it's been going on long before Donald Trump, but it started to escalate with Donald Trump. How he kept going on and on, saying racist thing after racist thing after racist thing, and nobody checking him. Nobody stopping him. It wasn't that Democrats had to stop him. It was Republicans that had to stop him. But as long as Donald Trump was getting the donations, was getting the attention, was getting the Republican Party the money and resources that they needed, they were not going to stop him. And so now that they say, okay, this is a winning strategy, let's continue it. So Lauren Boebert and the other woman from Georgia, they're all into this racist language after racist term of different people. And how many times, black man, have you been on an elevator and a white woman clutched her purse? It's happened to all of us. Happened to me. How you have to get on an elevator and smile the whole time, just to calm anybody in the elevator that is not melanated down. To say, hey, I'm a happy Negro. I'm not gonna hurt you. And by her going out and saying things like, me and a staffer was on the elevator and Ilhan Omar was on the elevator, so, she doesn't have a book bag, so we're fine. That speaks to clutching your purse. Tell me you're racist without telling me you're racist. And why isn't Kevin McCarthy doing anything about it? He's not doing anything about it for 2 reasons. The first reason is he wants to be Speaker of the House. He wants to be Speaker of the House. In order to win the speakership, he has to get the votes of those members. Right now, they feel like, well, it's a fact that every 2 years, the House of Representatives go for re-election every 2 years. But in doing that, every midterm election, the House changes over. So it's like America gets buyer's remorse. They elect a Democrat, and 2 years later, they elect a House of the opposite party. Joe Biden is in the White House as a Democrat, and the Democrats won the House and the Senate barely, in 2016. So, well, I'm sorry, 2020. So now that 2022 is coming around, it seems like Americans are going to have buyer's remorse about Biden, and they may lose the House, and they may even lose the Senate. And Kevin McCarthy knows that midterm elections always go to the opposite party. So he is in line to be Speaker of the House because he's the minority leader of the Republicans in the House. So he's going to cater to everybody in that caucus because he needs their votes. Now, Nancy Pelosi knows how and has wielded her power decent. She made some mistakes. I think one of the mistakes she made was watering down the Affordable Care Act, but I digress. She knows how to control her caucus. Kevin McCarthy does not know how to control the GOP, which is why he's letting these women go out and say these things. It happened with John Boehner. When John Boehner was the Republican leader, he got ran over by his own party, by the Tea Party folks in his caucus. So much so that he was ran out of town. He was ran out of town. And who takes over? Who takes his place? I cannot remember the guy's name. Give me a second. Young guy. He was a vice presidential candidate for a second. As a matter of fact, he works for Fox News now. Go figure, right? I'm on Wikipedia now. List history, Speaker of the House. See also party leaders. Nope. Let's go. Hold on. Let me do one thing. I can. His face is in my head, but I cannot remember his name. List of speakers. Because this guy, he didn't last long. He was ran out of the party, and now he works for Fox News after John Boehner left. Here we go. Let's see. Paul Ryan. Yep, Paul Ryan. Paul Ryan served he served for 4 years. And John Boehner served for 4 years. And was ran out of the party. So that's what's going on with the Republican Party. They know that these divisive, racist remarks get them donors, it get them points on the board, it get them fame and notoriety. So Lauren Boebert and that Marjorie Taylor Greene lady, they're sitting out here saying these racist things and getting a pass from Kevin McCarthy because Kevin McCarthy wants to be Speaker of the House. And it even came out to say that these people don't even want Kevin McCarthy to be Speaker of the House. Now, it's not listed. It's not listed in the Constitution that a Speaker of the House has to come from the House. Anybody can be Speaker of the House. Anybody. They can vote me Speaker of the House. As long as I got 218 votes, I can be Speaker of the House. With that being said, there's word out there that they want to make Donald Trump Speaker of the House. He probably won't go for it, but that's the word on the street. That they want to make Donald Trump Speaker of the House. Will they vote for him? I don't know. Will he do it? I don't know. But Kevin McCarthy wants to be Speaker. So that's why he's placating and catering to this racist wing of the Republican Party. And one of the issues that the Republicans have is this racist rhetoric. And how many chances, like this guy mentioned, give me a second. I didn't want to play it, but I got to play it to prove my point.
Obvious by now. We hold Republican Congresswoman Lauren Boebert to a different standard than every other elected official in Colorado. We hold Congresswoman Boebert to a far lower standard. If we held her to the same standard as every other elected Republican and Democrat in Colorado, we would be here near nightly chronicling the cruel, false, and bigoted things that Boebert says for attention and fundraising. This is not about politics, assuming politics is still about things like taxes, national security, health care, jobs, and public lands. This is about us, as journalists, recognizing that we'll hold a politician accountable if they say something vile once, but we won't do it if they do it every day.
And that's what she does. That's what Donald Trump did. As long as he was out there saying this racist stuff every day, it wasn't bad. As long as he was out there committing crimes in front of you, it's not bad. And that's what he did. If he goes out and he says Mexicans that come across the border or illegal immigrants that come across the border are rapists, murderers, and in some cases they're good people, and they let that pass, and he continues and continues and continues, it becomes the norm. And that's what Marjorie Taylor Greene and that's what Lauren Boebert is doing. They're doing it on a daily basis to where they can go on the House floor and call this woman the Jihad Squad and call her a terrorist, a Muslim terrorist sympathizer. It seems like they've wrapped everybody, they've wrapped all Muslims in the Islam community, they've wrapped them all to be terrorists. And how is that possible? How can you say all Muslims are terrorists? That's like saying all Christians are murderers. Because how much crime against humanity has Christianity done to this world, to this country? Christianity kept my ancestors in chains. Christianity kept separate but equal in this country. Christianity said that a black person is not a person. Listen to this. A black person is not a person. Supreme Court, Roger B. Taney, 1859. Look it up. That's what Christianity did. Christianity said that a black man or a black woman cannot marry a white man or a white woman. That's what Christianity did. Christianity was responsible for the Crusades. Christianity was responsible for the Salem witch trials. Christianity was responsible for the Spanish Inquisition. Christianity was responsible for splitting up Africa and taking all of the resources out of Africa into other countries. That coffee, I think it's a Swiss coffee. Coffee is famous. I think the Swiss is known for having the best coffee in the world, right? But did you not know that coffee is not native to that area? They get their coffee beans from Africa. How about this? Every ingredient that goes into a pizza, every ingredient that goes into an Italian pizza, that fruit is, or that vegetable, or that ingredient is not a native to Italy. I pause for a second to let you think about it. Every ingredient and every main ingredient in a pizza that's famous in Italy, the ingredient is not from Italy. They got most of the herbs and spices from South America. Christianity did that. So, are you Catholic? So can we say that you're a pedophile? Because it seems like every priest and every clergyman has committed sexual assault against a child. So can we wrap all Catholics into the pedophile category? Can we wrap all priests into the pedophile category? So why then do we say all Muslims are terrorists? Why is it that Ilhan Omar is part of the Jihad Squad? Because she's saying, hey, the Palestinians has just as much right to be in the Israel area as the quote unquote Israelis have. That quote unquote holy city is equal to the Palestinians just as it is to the Israelis. And that a two-state solution need to be had. Oh, but because I say two-state solution need to be had in Israel, in Jerusalem, that makes me part of the Palestinian Liberation Authority? A Palestinian Liberation Organization? Does that make me a Muslim terrorist sympathizer? because I say that some of the things that the Israelis are doing in the Israel area is wrong, and the Gaza Strip is wrong. How they keep encroaching on the Palestinian territories, building more and more settlements, and every time they negotiate, they say, Israel, stop freaking building settlements until we come with a solution. Make it make sense, Republicans. Because this lady is part of the Islam community, because she worships Allah, which, you idiots, Allah is a Islamic term for God, and the Jews, the Jewish community and the Muslim community worship the same God. Christianity worships that same God, but they pray to his son. Do you not know that Abrahamic religions consist of Christianity, Islam, and Judaism? Do you not know that Jesus was a Jew? Do you know that there's no such thing as Christian? But no, they don't try to educate themselves. Or maybe they do, they just play dumb because they get votes and they get money. You got a guy in Louisiana, a senator from Louisiana, that's a Rhodes Scholar who plays dumb and uses hokey pokey accent to spout his rhetoric. Republican, Kennedy. Rhodes Scholar. This man is educated in all the Ivy League schools. And he goes out and calls people from Ivy League schools idiots and liberals. That's where you're from. George W. Bush was a Yale graduate. His family was from Connecticut. His father made some money in Texas. George W. Bush, what was George W. Bush born? Because I don't think he was born in Texas. Just want to make sure. I want to be accurate here. Good gravy, man. What's all these darn websites? Okay, let's see where was he born? George W. Bush was born. I knew it. I just wanted to make sure. George W. Bush was born in New Haven, Connecticut. George W. Bush was born in New Haven, Connecticut. First child of George Herbert Walker Bush and Barbara Pierce. He was raised in Midland, Texas. I don't know when they moved. He attended public schools in Midland, Texas until his family moved to Houston after he completed 7th grade. He spent 2 years, college prep school. So he was raised in Texas, but he wasn't born in Texas. And he has that hokey dokey accent to make him known that he was a Texan. But he lost his if you go watch some of the movies and look at his election timeline, he lost some of his first elections because they consider him not being from Texas because he was born in New Haven, Connecticut. And that he went to Yale. He didn't go to a Texas college. Like me, for instance, born and raised in Alabama. If I was to run for any kind of elective office, they would look at me and say, well, okay, he didn't go to college here. He got his bachelor's and his master's, and it wasn't from a college in Alabama. He left Alabama at the age of 19 and did not return to Alabama until he was 40. So I'm not from Alabama. Maybe I don't talk like I'm from Alabama. So in order for me to appeal to Alabamians, I have to go and find my hokey dokey accent. Or whatever stereotype that they have for Alabamians. And I'm going to end it with this. This is the GOP, people. This is what they've become. If they wasn't racist then, they damn sure racist now. And when I say racist then, I'm going back to the Southern strategy. I'm going back to what's his name? Ronald Reagan's presidential announcement in Philadelphia, Mississippi, the same place where those 3 civil rights members were killed, and Mississippi burning speaks about. I'm going again, Southern strategy, Philadelphia, Mississippi, Ronald Reagan, the switch, how racist Democrats switched over to become racist Republicans, and how they will deny that there was a switch. It goes back to that. It goes back to how Donald Trump supported Democrats his entire public life until he decided to run as a Republican. You don't believe me? Look it up. I'm going to get up out of here, people. Today is Wednesday. Today is hump day. I just had to make sure. Yeah. December 1st, hump day. You guys have a great December. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. Get your resolutions together. Break them on the 2nd. And I will see you guys on the next one, all right? Y'all be safe. I'm out.